So I don't know if you have all been picking up on little tidbits on my social media that about life lessons and legacy and hashtag my next book, but it is being worked on and it will be coming out hopefully, if not by ends of year this year, then beginning of next year. And it's about life lessons and legacy and all the things that caregiving has taught me. Being a caregiver for my grandmother for 6 years was very difficult. Watching someone decline over a long period of time that you love and you look at as someone that's strong and the glue that holds everybody together and everything, and a woman that is very strong and cleans the house and cooks and never forgets anything, now is in a walker or wheelchair and no longer does any of those things. It's hard for her to go to the bathroom, and sadly enough, eventually got dementia and didn't even remember that my children were mine. So having something like this happen so close to you is devastating, and it changes the way that you look at life and your perspective on people and relationships. And I want to make sure that I teach others what I was taught, and I feel like I was lucky to learn it at a young age, and that's my legacy and my grandmother's and grandfather's legacy, to teach all of those lessons that I've learned through caregiving and teach others. I feel like it's funny, I always say my grandparents have a 3rd grade education, and they were off the boat Italian immigrants, and they felt like they didn't have a lot, and they didn't have a lot of education, and nor did I, but the lessons that they taught were priceless. And I think that if you can affect people and you can make a change, that's priceless. And I'd rather have that than all the money and lavish things in life. While those are all nice things to have, that's definitely not the way that I was brought up, and it's definitely not the things that I value. So the next book is 13 chapters, because my grandmother's favorite number is 13, and it's going to be all the life lessons that I learned through caregiving. My grandfather, on the other hand, he died of cancer, and it was a very quick process. We don't know if he knew, but he had a pain on his side. He went into the hospital. We were told that he had cancer and that it didn't look good. And we immediately put him into hospice, and he was in the hospital for 4 days. He went into hospice, and within 24 hours, if any of you have gone through this process of losing someone, you know that their mouth opens and their breathing slows down, and it all started within 24 hours of him going into hospice, and then he died 3 days later. So it was very quick. And then 20 days later, my son Dante was born. That was always going to be named after him. So Dante Domenico, and my grandfather is Domenico Barone. So it's just, that was a very strange time period, because, here I was a new mother, and my son that was named after my grandfather was no longer here, and it was all within a couple-week period. And my grandfather was my father figure, and he was just within a week taken from me. So I also had bought a house within 2 weeks prior, so he was able to see the house, but it was in shambles because I bought a fixer-upper. And so that was, while I didn't caregive for him, losing somebody was very devastating. So, and I put him on hospice. I had to make that difficult decision with my family, and I didn't really know what hospice was about. And I was in the elder care industry. So, you know, the shoemaker's kids have the worst shoes. I mean, they didn't have the worst care, but I had to learn through the experience of what my grandparents were going through. And that's why I find I'm so passionate about what we do as New Jersey Elder Law Center at Mandelbaum Salzburg, because my experiences have affected the way that we service clients and the quality of service that we provide. And that's why if anybody is ever going through anything with a loved one, I always want to make sure that I'm there trying to help them, and my team is always equipped to help them in the best manner possible. And I just want to be there to help people through a tough time. So I hope that everybody's looking forward to my next book. It's a little bit different than the Law Firm Revolution. It's more on the touchy-feely side, but it's more about life and quality and legacy. I look forward to launching the book and hearing everybody's opinions.